We're here today in the West Village of Manhattan, one of the epicenters of American literary culture in the 20th century. We're gonna go find a couple famous author buildings and talk a little bit about their life and their work. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're here at the home of Edna St. Vincent Malay, one of America's finest sonneteers, and a woman who I like to think of as the Bjork of early 20th century American verse. Her work crystallizes a new spirit in American letters, a kind of raw, independent, authentic feminine spirit. Her poetry is suffused with luscious natural imagery, from cowslips in a hat to apples in a skirt. She was a longtime resident of the West Village, and she lived in the skinniest building in New York, which is only 9.5 feet wide.
I, being bored a woman and distressed by all the needs and notions of my kind, am urged by your propinquity to find your person fair, and feel a certain zest to bear your body's weight upon my breast. So subtly is the fume of life designed to clarify the pulse and cloud the mind, and leave me once again undone, possessed. Think not for this, however, the poor treason of my stout blood against my staggering brain. I shall remember you with love, or season my scorn with pity. Let me make it plain. I find this frenzy insufficient reason for conversation when we meet again.
A fantastic place to start with Edna St. Vincent Malay's work would be her debut volume, Renaissance, which actually means Renaissance, which came out in 1912. You can find that at timesera.org. Happy reading. We've come a little further west. We're now in front of the White Horse Tavern, which for many years, especially in the 1950s and 1960s, was notable for being a center of bohemian culture, a place to carouse, to cavort with fellow writers, to drink massive amounts of alcohol, and to write. It's here that Welsh poet Dylan Thomas had his last major drinking bout and imbibed what turned out to be a fatal amount of alcohol, 18 whiskeys. Not advisable. He slipped into a coma the next day and died November 9th, 1953. He was 39 years old. This is a poet of surpassing talent who wrote villanelles that are part of the popular imagination, such as Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night, the lovely, uplifting poem And Death Shall Have No Dominion, and of course the rollicking and verdant Fern Hill. In addition to Thomas, other great writers of note, such as James Baldwin, Jack Kerouac, everyone made their pit stop here. And that's something we can say about the West Village more broadly, is that even though maybe only a few writers, such as Henry James and Willa Cather, can lay claim to have lived continuously in the West Village for a long time, everyone has done their time here. Everyone's put in their time in the West Village, living for months, living as a way station between California and Europe. And so we can feel their spirits all around us, despite all the newness that's also cropped up. So, Dylan Thomas. Happy reading.
And death shall have no dominion. Dead men, naked, they shall be one with the man in the wind and the west moon. When their bones are picked clean and the clean bones gone, they shall have stars at elbow and foot. Though they go mad, they shall be sane. Though they sink through the sea, they shall rise again. And death shall have no dominion. Under the windings of the sea, they lying long shall not die windily, twisting on the racks when sinews give way, strapped to a wheel, they shall not break. Faith in their hands shall snap in two, and the unicorn evils run them through. Split all ends, they shan't crack, and death shall have no dominion. And death shall have no dominion. No more may gulls cry at their ears, or waves break loud on the seashores. Where blew a flower, may a flower no more lift its head to the blows of the rain. Though they be mad and dead as nails, heads through the characters hammer through daisies. Break in the sun till the sun breaks down, and death shall have no dominion.
We're on the north side of Washington Square Park, standing in front of the home of legendary American novelist and story writer Edith Wharton. Edith Wharton is closely associated with the Gilded Age, a period of immense concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, especially in New York City. Edith Wharton was the first woman ever to win a Pulitzer Prize for fiction for her 1921 novel, The Age of Innocence, which features and in some sense eulogizes Washington Square Park as a fading center of culture as some of the old money in New York started moving uptown.
On a January evening of the early 70s, Christine Nielsen was singing in Faust at the Academy of Music in New York. Though there was already talk of the erection, in remote metropolitan distances above the 40s of a new opera house which should compete in costliness and splendor with those of the great European capitals, the world of fashion was still content to reassemble every winter in the shabby red and gold boxes of the sociable old academy. Conservatives cherished it for being small and inconvenient, and thus keeping out the new people whom New York was beginning to dread and yet be drawn to. And the sentimental clung to it for its historic associations, and the musical for its excellent acoustics, always so problematic a quality, in halls built for the hearing of music.
To discover more about Edith Wharton and read some of her works, check them out on timesera.org. We've got Ethan Frome, the beautiful short novel which takes place in Western Massachusetts, The Age of Innocence, and a lot more. Happy reading.
Under the windings of the sea, windings of the sea.
Wait for that. That's incredibly loud. That's like Wait, is this it? This is.
Well, yeah. That's
81. Should we, you know, just like because of all the, like, what are you pointing a camera at me for? All the, they look like, it's like Master Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah.